All right. All right, this short explanation of the trolling motor mount for the SeaDoo FishPro. I just wanted to show you how I did it and explain it a little bit, so you can decide whether or not you want to do it or not. All right, for those of you who haven't seen it, look at my video on SeaDoo FishPro Gamechanger. Alright, here we go. I made this mount. This is based off of Michael Lott's design, just slightly different. And see, it's not very well done. I'm not the greatest welder or fabricator, but it looked better before I had to like make adjustments to it several times. Trying to get it where it's not like cocked, you know. So getting it level and straight and everything, it was kind of a pain. These are mounted with Ipilot fasteners. You put a 5/8 wrench on that and a 5/16, and you tighten it, and it'll expand out, like kind of like an old drywall anchor. Works good on stuff like this. And I used 3 of them up at the top, underneath, and 2 down here. The way I made this mount was I took a piece of cardboard and I laid it down and traced it out, cut it, formed it, and then I used that, and I used an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, and I just cut out my piece of stainless. And I didn't even cut it all the way. I cut this part about up to here, and just right there I bent it over and welded it back right here. This is an angle. I think it's 1.5 inch angle, and I just cut it at angles. I cut it in a way where I could lay it in there. And then, of course, I didn't get my angle correct, so I had to cut it in half and re-weld it. So that's why it looks kind of looks bad, but it works, and I'm not going to redo it. For the trolling motor, I used the quick release mount, so I can remove it for when I'm traveling down the road, and when I get to the lake I can take it off and put it back on, or whatever I want to do. Okay, this is the trolling motor wires, and I got them, they run, I just put these connectors, the Minn Kota connectors, quick release connectors on them. I put one here, and I just screwed it down to this piece of plastic that goes here where the speaker would go, and it goes through a hole that I made here, and I route it up through, and it goes through that duct that's in here, and it goes back under, and it goes under into the engine compartment. And I have another connector that's basically right around in this area, and it goes over to this. And I bought a spare one of these, that way I don't have one. I got one that's got this on it and one that doesn't. So I can't remember how much that was, but it's pretty cheap. All right, now the battery box. This is the battery box, and I use these Link Q adapters, and I had to make a little plate on it, screw it to there, because it was almost perfect, but it was about 1/4 inch off on each side, or 1/2 inch off total. And so I've got screws and nuts on the inside holding that onto that. And of course this is about an inch off of the, when you lift these up, they're about an inch. They're about an inch higher. So I bought this black piece of UHMW. I think it's 13 inches by 9 inches. And I screwed it to the bottom of the battery box. And that lifts it off. So, you see, it ain't going nowhere. Sturdy. I think I did a pretty good job of the install. And it's got this strap that holds it on. I'm not too impressed with this battery box, but you know, it does the job. So I'm not gonna get too. I'm not gonna replace it. Just this strap is kind of cheesy. All right. As far as running how you anchor this. Now these fab lock fasteners, let me show you these. You can get them from McMaster Car, is where I got these. You get the stainless steel ones. They're stainless steel screws with aluminum anchors. And this is what they look like. You drill your hole big enough for that, and it goes down. When you tighten it, this expands out and locks it in place. I've used them a lot at work for a lot of projects, so I was confident in them. So that's why I went with that. And after I anchored that with that, I got up here and I stood on it. I weigh about 190 pounds. I stood on this plate, and that's why I'm comfortable and confident that this will work. While I was doing my fabricating, I used these screws. These are SeaDoo part number right here. So you get those screws. They are called I think it's called plastite screws, something like that. But they are the screws that you see all over the SeaDoo, like right there's one. They're all over it. They're the same screw, and that's a SeaDoo part number. And actually, I was pretty confident in just using these screws to hold this on. But I ran them in and out so many times that while I was making modifications to this, that I lost confidence in them. But if I was only going to run them in one time, that would be the way to go. Just drill a hole smaller than your screw here. You screw it in and it'll lock it in. And these are really good. But okay, if you don't want to do that, now this is not how I would fabricate this piece, but it's just a demonstration. Okay, so just because it's ugly like this. All right. Now this is a plate. If you want to use a backing plate with bolts, so run it through there, and you can get into this area. There's that duct, and you got to bust that duct loose, and you can get it. And you can get in there. Now drill your holes, of course. Then you've got to take these wires. You can get these things from I think it's called eTrailer.com, and they're used for fishing the bolts through when you do a trailer hitch installation on a car or a truck. That's what these things are made for. They're 3/8. Use 3/8 bolts, and you can fish these wires through, and then you pull the whole bracket through and up into your mount. You follow me? So that's another way of doing this mount. So it's purely up to you as your machine how you want to do it. So, but that's one idea. The plastite screws and the fab lock screws, or fab lock fasteners. I'm going to try to get this to focus. so you can get that part number. And it won't want to focus. Let's see. Alright, see that part number down there, FABEZJ210. And these are 0.062 or 1/4 inch, if you want to call it a 1/4 inch. Okay. I'll leave a link to the parts that I used and some of the parts I didn't use. It's up to you what you want to use, and I'll leave them in the description. You have any questions about it, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching my video, and please like and subscribe.